Hello, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and welcome to Zen BDSM. I would say that in this space, I would be Mistress Anna, or I would be the Fae Queen. BDSM is probably the most misunderstood kink lifestyle that there is. There is what goes on quietly behind closed doors, the history of the community, where the community comes from, and there is also what people think it is. And movies like 50 Shades of Grey really piss off the lifestyle community a lot. They could not get it more wrong. So the reason why I'm taking time out to launch Zen BDSM is because it's a concept I came up with about a year ago with some friends. Actually, I was alone, and then I showed them the idea and they went, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And I'm like, yes, it is. So Zen BDSM is basically a tool of BDSM where I use the shadow self to nurture a person's confidence and ego, identity, and autonomy back out to the forefront. It is the most abused part of the self, the identity, the shadow self, the id. And I believe that the confidence that we cultivate in BDSM is a fantastic psychological tool to bring the shadow self out to the forefront. Now, there's a lot of misunderstanding of what the shadow self is. So I am going to only say this once and in my very first video and never again. There is the shadow self, and then there is the fifth level of the subconscious mind. We do not talk about the fifth level of the subconscious mind. We close that door. That is not the shadow self. The shadow self is all of the things that is very human of us. It's our intuition. It's our instinct. The shadow self is intuition. That's what she is. But a lot of people, most of us, are taught in our laws, rules, and justice society that BDSM, that sex is wrong, that desire is a sin, that gluttony is wrong. So there's a lot of patriarchal religious shaming on something that's very, very natural. And what ends up happening is people are so horrifically shamed by this concept that they destroy intuition. They destroy the shadow self. Now, that does so much damage to the identity, I can't even begin to explain it. And when I have people who come in and they're talking about all of who they want to be, it's really an injustice to nurture identity, awaken ego, and then completely ignore intuition. When intuition is the very thing you need to go forward and explore. There's also going to be an evolution of growth that occurs from monogamy, which is fear-based, which is insecurity-based and jealousy-based, and polyamory. So as you get closer to the sixth perspective, as you start to value ethics and autonomy alongside law and rule, you start to realize that polyamory is more ethical. In fact, you begin to have a conflict in the sixth perspective where you realize that monogamy is unethical because it is a type of ownership of a person's sexuality. So when you are in the sixth and the seventh perspective, there is suddenly an understanding that that is wrong, that monogamy can be used as a gift, but it cannot be taken or forced, or it's unethical to force somebody to be owned by you. And it really, when you get to the sixth and seventh perspective, you start to see things in an ethical point of view, so that monogamy becomes, and very much is, in that perspective, slave ownership. It's a type of ownership over who owns your body, who gets sexual say over your body. It strips away the autonomy of the individual. And for people who are sixth stage perspective and higher, that's not okay. So in the fifth and sixth stage perspectives, there is a conflict of ethics that begins to occur with the concept of monogamy, where you start to realize this, and you're challenged to confront your own jealousy and insecurity issues. And if you get over them, if you work through them, let's not use the words get over anymore. Let's use the words get through them. If you work through them, then you'll open up and you'll accept polyamory. But if you cannot or do not work through them, then you will remain in the monogamous mind. There's also a possibility where you're going to be in both minds at the same time, where you're going to want monogamy, but you're going to be ethically conflicted about this. This could create cognitive dissonance. So there's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of emotional distress when you get to the fifth, sixth, seventh perspective, where you're conflicted about monogamy and polyamory. And people who are in the fifth and sixth perspective suddenly open up and they want to explore kink. It's very common for them to want to try and dabble in the lifestyles. And I cannot begin to tell you how dangerous the lifestyles are when you are going into them unprepared. So I will be covering literally everything I know about BDSM in this channel. I will be covering as much as possible. And I will be covering Mythbusters, safety techniques, but I will also be delving into the subconscious mind, into the psychology of BDSM, and how you can use it for yourself, for your own confidence building, for your own basically power struggle. It's your own relationship with power, authority, and control. And the best way to do that is by very much adopting a dominatrix or a dom mindset. So we're also going to go over the ethics of domination and the ethics of BDSM and how exactly Zen BDSM can be used in and out of your bedroom as more of a mindset to groom yourself into confidence and back into authority, where you establish yourself a solid relationship with authority, autonomy, and identity. There's this beautiful balance. So the next few videos that I'm going to cover is going to be a basis on that. So thank you so much for joining me on this introduction. And my schedule is every day. Like every day I post videos. I have a number of podcasts. I post at least 4 videos a day because I love podcasting. It's like my addiction. So if you want more shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want more shit like this, subscribe to my newsletter. And if you are wanting to look into my live BDSM, Zen BDSM sessions in New York City, you can go ahead and join Anna's elite list down below. And that will immediately put you on the list so that you will get notification every time I have a live workshop in New York City. And there is also a 21 plus application process where I screen to make sure that only ethical people get into BDSM in my classes, because I do not allow unethical people who are sadists, not in the good way, to come into my space, because I've seen what happens when things don't go well. So that being said, also take a look at my YouTube, at my website, is healinggarden.org. The link is available below. And if you really want more of this shit and you just can't get enough, then go ahead and join my classes, join my workshops. And thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.